Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and today we're going to be talking about this. This is a game called Another World, Out of This World for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, not too long ago, I did a video in which I unboxed this, as well as a couple of other games called Bang Bang Busters, and of course the first one being The Escapee. Now, this is the last of those three games that each one is getting a separate video on. So once again, I want to thank Videogames New York for sending those my way and allowing me to be able to do the review for you guys. Please again, check out the link in the description if you're interested in this game or any of the recent independent Dreamcast games, because they're selling a lot of them. So let's talk a little bit more about this before we talk about the actual game, the release history, if you will. So it may surprise you if you don't already know this, but the Sega Dreamcast, my favorite game console of all time, still gets new games every once in a while, and this is one of the latest. Now, this game's story is that it originally was released in 1991 for the Amiga and the Atari ST. It ended up becoming a big hit. It was put onto a whole host of different platforms at the time, and it actually ended up being inspiration for a bunch of other games, including a lot of the story elements were used to inspire things like Eco and Metal Gear Solid, and the gameplay elements went on to inspire things like Flashback, which interestingly is now on the Sega Dreamcast as well. All of these recent titles have come out due to a company called JoshProd, who continues to defy expectations, because I've said this many times now, but historically what happened with Dreamcast games since the inception in 2003 with the independent movement, none of these games are done by Sega. They're not created by them, they're not authorized by them. Sega just kind of doesn't care. But since 2003, when Feet of Fury hit, really every single game either came out because somebody was inspired to make it specifically for the Dreamcast, or somebody decided we're making this game, put it on the Dreamcast for just spreading the seed type of reasons. JoshProd doesn't do that. He goes out and, well, the guy who runs it, his name's Phil, he goes out and he finds games he likes for one reason or another, and through legal means he gets a hold of the development team, and he either buys the rights to the game lock, stock, and barrel like he did with Flashback, or he'll buy a license with authorization to re-release it, or just there's so many unique cases out there. Like Bang Bang Busters was a special one too. Go see the previous video on that if you're curious. But yeah, so he'll come up with a whole bunch of different ways to get these games out there. And in this case, he's a big fan of these type of early adventure type of games that were basically puzzle games with platforming type of elements. Like Flashback is the one I always point at. Now, I've said before that genre isn't really my favorite thing, but that said, I still respect the hell out of these games, and the fact they're well prepared, they're just not personally my taste. But I'm glad they exist, and I'm glad that people have the option to check them out now. So when it comes to this specific release, like all JoshProd releases, it's not like burned on like a CD and then like somebody writes on a Sharpie like what the name of the game is or anything like that. Like these are done pretty much as officially and legitimately as you possibly could do, short of having Sega be involved directly, or writing it up on a GD-ROM presser, which again would be amazing if somehow JoshProd could manage to get one of those things. But yeah, let's take a look at the game itself here. Now, the artwork style, this is the NTSC style, where the front is an American style case, the back is Japanese. You can actually take the manual out and swap it for the Japanese artwork. That way the thing looks fully Japanese. That's entirely up to you. There's also a PAL version of this, so you can have that art style, but that's just art. It's cosmetic, it's not necessary. So you can actually, all these discs are region free, so they'll work on any version of the Dreamcast. It doesn't really matter which one you have. This particular game includes Another World and the HD version. So there's actually two different versions of the game. You can play it the way it originally was, or the upgraded, improved version that they've since created for it. All right, we're rolling here. So yeah, this game has a pretty cool intro, guys. So I'm going to basically phase out here in a second and let you guys watch that, and then I'll check back in with you. Before that starts though, a little technical note. This game supports VGA mode and was recorded in that via the Gecko with an M cable, which is a special HDMI cable, captured through the Hauppauge HD PVR. So it's as solid as it can possibly be. A little bit of YouTube and editing compression, but other than that, it's amazing. Enjoy the intro. I'll check in with you soon. Hey, all right, I'm back. See, in my defense, I thought this clip was part of the intro, so I didn't try to do anything. I thought I was still watching an animation because it's beautiful animation. So yeah, this game is very, very similar to The Escapee. Though I'm gonna tell you right now that I actually really liked this game a lot more than The Escapee. I'm still not gonna go out there and say that this is like one of my favorite games or anything like that. But I don't know, man. It had a progression system, so you actually felt like you were accomplishing something rather than being constantly sent all the way back to the very, very beginning. You have a very basic attack, which I did not, I did not do very well with. I died constantly. I mean, constantly. Here you see that I died and I got reset back to the beginning. That's true. But as you make just increments of progress, you start actually getting like tiny little save points, and you'll see that coming up soon. But I thought that was definitely a huge improvement. So, like I said, with these games, they're all trial and error, man. You just kind of have to play and like memorize what you're supposed to do, and then just kind of frustratingly keep pushing yourself through it. And sometimes you just make some stupid mistakes, and just that's how the games are. They take time, they take patience, and you know that's just what they are. I should have mentioned, I did mention this, although I'm afraid I never actually recorded it. This is the HD remastered version of the game, and it looks beautiful. Like the artwork in this game, I'm really stunned by. I think it's really great. You can turn that off in the menu, and alternatively, if you want to, you can just press a button on the controller and turn it off too. I did a couple times, mostly by accident, out of frustration. You're gonna trust me when I say you're gonna want to play in the HD mode. The HD mode is much, much prettier than the basic mode. But yeah, right here was the beginning of my complete failure. Like, I got slashed by these little stupid fucking snake things like a million times, and it just pissed me off. So I just did you a huge edit there and skipped way past that to the point where I figured out I had a basic attack of kicking, and I used the shit out of that. But anyway, sorry, I've really talked a lot in this one. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay here, and I'll meet up with you towards the end. Hey, look at that. He actually made some progress in one of these games. Who would have ever thought?
So yeah, like I said, I've enjoyed this one a lot more, especially because you do get some sense of accomplishment, the little bit of progress system, as opposed to having to do it all the way from the beginning each time, which some people might argue is better if you just really want to be that intense about it. Personally, I don't. But I can see the argument both ways. Either way, I enjoyed this one more. I think it would take more time, and to really give you like a true review of it or whatever. But I enjoyed it. Anyway, so I just want to give you a taste of it, let you check it out, and of course, I want to thank Videogames New York for hooking me up with this. I also want to thank JoshProd for all of his efforts in getting these games, rediscovered and reproduced and ultimately brought to the Dreamcast. I mean, this is a very clean, competent port of the game. It runs perfectly and all that stuff, so it's really good. So again, if you want to check it out, go to the websites Videogames New York or Play Asia. They're in the description. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.